I officially call the meeting to order. Welcome everybody there.
All right. With that,
It has been advertised according to the Open Public Meetings Act.
well, with that, that brings us to the next slide. It's the Opening Public Meetings Act on December 30th, 2019. Notice of this meeting was emailed to the Courier Post and Gloucester City News newspapers for publication and duly posted on the official Bellmawr Redevelopment Agency website. Corresponding official notice to the Borough Clerk was emailed on January 2nd, 2020, which included a request for posting notice to the official Borough of Bellmawr website and bulletin board. On May 29th, 2020, notice of this meeting's new date and time, including the location, changed to online, was duly posted to the agency's official website. Further, public notice was emailed to the Courier Post and Gloucester City News newspapers for publication. Corresponding official notice to the Borough Clerk was emailed the same day, parenthetically 5/29/2020, which included a request for posting notice to the official Borough of Bellmawr website and bulletin board. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met in compliance with the Sunshine Law. And then with that, we will salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
Flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands,
which it stands,
one nation under God,
one nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
All right. With that, we'll do a roll call. Chairman Frank Philpott,
Here.
Vice Chair Jay Garagoza,
Here.
Commissioner Paul DeAngelis, Commissioner Steve Haggerty, Commissioner Nick Kapados, Commissioner Tom Whitman,
Here.
Commissioner Neil Patel.
Here.
And the management and the professionals, Josh Tregear, Executive Director. I am here. Mike McKenna, Solicitor.
Present.
And Dennis McNulty, Engineer. All right. Includes the roll call. We do have a quorum. Brings us to our agenda, the reading of the minutes, communications, commissioners reports, executive director report, solicitors report. I guess, Mike, you want to jump in with everything there, obviously?
I do. And I think it's best that I just sort of bring everybody up to date. I dropped a letter to.
Hey, Mike, well, let me go through real quick. And I'm at that point, the solicitor's report at that point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was an invite. Yeah, it looked early. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so with that, we're at the, well, I'm sorry, prior to that, I'm going to continue to ask the public if they're on the line to remain muted until the public portion, at which point I'll give you a heads up and you can unmute yourselves. Also, to the board members, again, just a reminder for any voting action, please identify yourself with motions, seconds, and et cetera after your vote, so for the record. So we have the reading of minutes, the regular meeting, April 20th, 2020.
All right. I'm going to make a motion we dispense with the minutes. Frank Philpott.
All right.
I second the motion, Tom Whitman.
All in favor, gentlemen? Say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, very good. Communications, I have none. So we'll close that portion. Commissioner reports, Chairman Philpott.
I have no report.
All right, Vice Chair Garagoza,
No report.
Commissioner Whitman,
Nothing.
Commissioner Patel.
I took my ethics course, Josh. I finished that, and I got one more course to do this Saturday.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Anil, for taking advantage of that, and along with all the other commissioners that did so as well. Thank you. With that, I'll close the commissioner reports. Executive director's report. Again, obviously, we're continuing with this remote platform. I think each time it's getting a little smoother, other than the I guess some of the issues that we may have had. I'll look into that. I don't know if it was on the portals end or not, but we'll look into that. With that, the meetings, I'm going to go a little out of order in my bullet points, but the meetings are recorded, and then they are placed on the official YouTube channel for the agency. So the agency now has an official YouTube channel where these where we can host these or place these meetings once they're recorded, so for public access. So that's all been integrated into the to the agency's website. And also with that, I didn't want to just have all just dry meetings out there, meeting videos. So Remington and Vernick had done a while ago, did some stills and some video with the drone video of the redevelopment site. And they were good enough to pass on some of that video footage gratis. So I am thankful for them. And there's a short little video site tour that's on our YouTube channel that if you haven't seen, check it out. It's only about a minute. It came out pretty good. So again, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, R&V, for that. And Neil, you had mentioned the courses. Again, I appreciate all the commissioners, not all, but most really took advantage of it. So we'll look to see what Rutgers does there and for the fall. And, you know, we'll try to get everything completed. It may be a hybrid at this point. They may do live instruction or continue with the online remote. I'm not quite sure. They haven't made an announcement, but I'll keep an eye on it. And then the other big thing is just audit 2019 that officially was due in April, but obviously with COVID and the coronavirus and the limitations, restrictions, with everything with that, the DCA had relaxed the deadline. But it's definitely that something has to you know, that we have to get on this month. So that is it for me. And then I'll ask Mr. McKenna to say a few words.
Right. Well, what I'd like to do is, in anticipation of our action item for approval and authorization of the redevelopment agreement, I wanted to refer first to the fact that I dropped a summary type letter of where we are providing the redevelopment agreement and exhibits, and referencing a portal for backup historical documents that has been set up and cloud-based by Josh. And so I commend that to you for reading. We previously presented the redevelopment agreement to the agency, and I'm happy to tell you that last Thursday night at an open public meeting, parenthetically, there has been nearly 20 action items taken in this project over the years, and every single one of those 20 items has been at a public hearing, just like this one. So what happened is we deferred to the primacy of council. That's the agency that created us in going first. And just towards the end of the negotiation process, and after David Weinstein, who's on, and I negotiated and presented to you all what we perceive to be the final version, there were two tweakings done, but nothing of substance. The first was to add solar lighting to the park and a gate with access by the emergency management folks. Other than that, the agreement is in the same shape as we presented, and you know, we're ready to go and have been. It was necessary for us to get the primary agency on board, and they have adopted, and I provided you all with a resolution that's been certified that evidences that they have gone first and that the way is clear for us to go. What I'd like to do is tell you what would be next after you adopt the redevelopment agreement. And there's quite a bit. I mean, the work that's done thus far has been to get to the deal. If the deal is approved by you all, as it has been by the council, then the redeveloper is free to expend the necessary funds going forward. And these are substantial to resolve certain matters. First, NJDEP. They have to go get the waterfront development process. That's in process right now, and it's being processed in conjunction with Township Council. Tidelands grant, that's in process right now. There's going to come a time when they cut a giant check to clear the Tidelands claims of the state on the property we own and property that is owned by the applicant presently, and it will be deeded to us as part of the deal. In that titlings process and in the Green Acres process, that also has to come. There's going to be some solution to an existing borough water tower problem. It's just one of those things that we've been able to get the developer to do to help us out by using this project. At title, and this is under the DEP matters, the title will be transferred, and the lien, the existing lien that is not on our property, but is on the redeveloper's property, will be cleaned up and released. That's by statute, and it's also, we have approval of that from the DEP. We will get final Green Acres approvals. We will continue then to get solid waste final approvals. We have them. We're done for phase 1, but phases 2 and 3, we will get those after end users are identified, because we've got the soil on site, but it makes no sense to cap with topsoil and then pave over that with the waste. We have the NJDOT roadway issues that will be pursued. We have municipal county approvals that will be pursued, both for the park and for redevelopment approvals. We have approvals that we need to nail down with the Township of Deptford, because we're going to be providing services to the Township of Deptford land. They're going to be getting the tax revenues, which means they've got to pay us back for the costs, etc. So there's utilities and infrastructure, design and construction that has to happen, and that will happen and will go forward, all again at the redeveloper's costs and expense. And lastly, there's some legal that's got to be done, and that's not really lastly, but we are going to be presenting to the agency soon the site lease. And by the way, the rest of the documents have to be signed only by the agency, because this whole concept is the agency is going to take title. We're going to be scheduling a closing to transfer the West Deptford property that's part of the Green Acres, to transfer the property to us. And there's going to be then further down the line end user transactions once these folks are able to identify an end user. That's the near and far term tasks that lie in front of us, none of which can happen until you green light the deal based on the RDA we've reviewed with you. I'm open for questions if you have any that have arisen since the last time we presented. David Weinstein, who has played point, he's the leasing specialist from Archer Reiner firm. He's on by phone, notwithstanding that his house got no phone service, no bandwidth. If you have questions, if you have no questions, that's the sum and substance of my report, and we can go on to the action items.
I have no questions.
Everybody else?
No questions. Jay Gargoza.
No questions, Tom Whitman.
No questions, O'Neill.
No question, Frank Philippek.
Right. Very good. Well, that brings us to new business. All right, so with new business, we have a resolution of the Bellmawr Redevelopment Agency, resolution number 06:030-20, approving execution of the redevelopment agreement.
I make the motion, we do.
I second it.
All right, we're going to do a roll call.
Where was your second, Josh? I think it was Jay.
Gargoza?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I second. Yes.
All right, so Commissioner Whitman,
Yes.
Chairman Philippek,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gargoza,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to resolution number 06:031-20, resolution of the Bellmawr Redevelopment Agency authorizing the transfer of funds from the pro services account to the operations account.
Okay, I make a motion, Josh.
Thank you, Neil.
I make the motion. Frank Philippek.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, we'll do a roll call. Commissioner Whitman,
Yes.
Chairman Philippek,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gargoza,
Yes.
and Commissioner Patel.
Yes.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. That brings us to our final resolution for the evening. That is number 06:032-20, authorizing the payment of outstanding bills. And this is, again, financial, so again, we'll need a roll call. Need a motion.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second it. Jay Gargoza.
All right, Commissioner Whitman,
Yes.
Chairman Philippek,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gargoza,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel.
Yes.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. That is all the new business I have for this evening. That'll bring us to the public portion. So if anybody from the public does, you do have a question you'd like to ask or something to say, have it committed to record, please unmute yourself and identify yourself along with your address, please. So I'll open it up now if anybody is ready. I believe you sent me an email. I didn't have a chance to respond to it, but it is, I took a quick look at it before I did get a chance to respond, and it's relevant. So yeah, by all means, ask your question.
I just wasn't, hi everybody, Ann Forline. It's 225 McClellan Avenue, South Jersey Observer. Council last Thursday passed a resolution regarding the redevelopment agency, and I just wasn't sure what that meant, if that was something that you could answer, Josh, or if Mr. McKenna could answer. It was just a lot going on in there, and I was really looking for the Reader's Digest answer.
Mike, go ahead, Mike.
And what it means
Yes.
is we have a deal from council's perspective.
Okay,
The redevelopment agreement that has been negotiated over the last 2 years has been authorized for signature by Mayor Sauer. We just tonight did our parallel approval for execution by the chairman and executive director. So
Okay.
we have a deal, which means we've got a lot of work to do, but at least
okay.
us know that we are on the same page and we are wedded to the project.
Okay. I just, real quick, just so that I understand, we're finished. Phase 1 is done, but phase 2 and 3, there's still a little bit more work to do on those phases?
According to the DEP and our recently deceased artist, he's
LSRP.
Yeah, our LSRP. He was a real, I don't know, he was a real pivotal part of this entire project, science-wise, and he had, before his untimely passing, signed off on that which had to be done, and as has the DEP. All that's left, really, is topsoil. And the topsoil that's needed, if it's needed, is presently on site. However,
Okay, and Mr. McKenna, who passed away? I'm sorry.
yeah, our LSRP.
Karen Brown.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It was sudden and it was recent, and we were very sorry.
Wow. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't know. He was really an intelligent man and really, really explained everything. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to go off track there.
And he was a gentleman.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Except for spreading the topsoil that's on there, but we only do that where there's not going to be a building or a parking lot.
Okay.
So really, we are going to await an end user for those 2 phases.
Okay.
So where we need to put that final capping for topsoil and where the parking lot and building services the final and probably better final capping.
Okay.
And that's all by DEP standards. I don't pretend to know the science. I've always
Right.
thanked Barry for that.
Yeah.
And that's the plan.
Okay. And then we'll throw a little missing moves in there and it should be fun. All right. Thank you for your time.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ann. Is there anybody else from the public that has a question? Again, I see a lot of numbers on the line that I don't think are commissioners. Again, Mr. Sharp, I don't know, I think you're on the line. Do anybody from the public have any questions before we wrap this up? We'll give it a couple seconds. I know it takes a minute or so to unmute yourself.
Josh, can you hear me? This is Mark.
Yeah, I hear you, Mark.
Yeah, Josh, it's Mark Sharp, 352 Anthony Drive. I want to take the time to thank Mr. McKenna for reviewing the information at council meeting last week. Provided a real nice overview for the public. So, Mr. McKenna, I want to thank you for that. As always, you do an outstanding job. And Josh, thank you also for making sure all the information is posted online, the agendas, the minutes, and actually having the meetings posted online. So I do appreciate that. And I just wanted to thank both of you gentlemen. Thank you.
I appreciate the sentiment, Mark. Thank you. All right, with that, is there anybody else in the public that has any question? Has a question? All right. I believe with that, we will close the public portion. Yeah, we'll close the public portion, and with no further business, I'll ask for an adjournment, Chairman.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
I want to
right.
thank everybody for on the phone. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr.
Thank you
Chairman.
very much, everyone.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thanks to all the commissioners. Thanks for everybody getting on the meeting, and same bad channel, same bad time. See you next month.
All right.